Yeah, well, I think reasonable expectations is that we improve. Definitely the win-loss record. I think we believe that we can compete for the conference championship. Obviously, Wright State has held it for quite a while and has been the kind of the class of the league, but we feel like we're in a position to compete with them.
So what do you feel like it is? Obviously the last couple of years have been, kind of rough sledding for you guys a little bit. What do you feel like it is you guys need to do in order to get to where you guys want to be?
Well, I think we've been the Horizon League and us. We've been a very offensive team, and I think it's really important that we kind of take the next step within like the pitching and the defense, right? And I think something that I'm learning as a new head coach is like stuff is great, right? But if you can't throw strikes, it doesn't matter, right? Aluminum bats they hit the ball very, very hard, aluminum bats, and we will give up hits, right? It's just we can't give them any extra base runners, like free bases. So we've put a real emphasis on that year of just throwing strikes. And what's cool to see is that the guys are moving their bodies better and they're throwing more strikes and their stuff has kind of gotten better too. It's funny how the two kind of go collab. But I think that's the biggest thing is for us to take the next step is we really need to make a jump in the pitching department.
Speaking of the pitching room for you guys, obviously you guys bring back a couple of pitchers that have been, part of the program for a couple of years. Braden is obviously a local player who's been with the program for a
Mm-hmm.
while. Some new pitchers as well. Can you talk a little bit about just that room, what you guys have in there, and what you're kind of looking for out of that group?
Yeah, so we did. We brought in a ton of new pitchers, honestly, and what has been really cool to see is the ones that are returning have really taken the next step up in their development. Gebhardt, guy is a local guy. He's been here. It's his fourth year. Is really kind of taken the next step. I mean, he always had great stuff, but the problem was is he threw too many pitches per at bat, right? And we couldn't get him deep into games, and he would get behind in the counts. He's really taken a step up, and now he's getting ahead in the count. He's trying to create weak contact, and I wouldn't be surprised if his strikeout numbers go way up because of that. We feel that this year we have added much more depth within the pitching room, right? And so I'm a firm believer of using your bullpen. I like to use a bunch of guys, right? And it's kind of my job to find what role they best fit in. And and then if they can be successful in that role, now that role continues to develop and they can continue to do more things, right? So day one, he might be a lefty specialist and face two lefties, right? He does well for 2 weeks doing that. All of a sudden we give him a full inning. All of a sudden now we're rocking 2 to 3 innings, right, with the guy. So I think it's just important that we continue to throw strikes, right? We want to play a game where we make them beat us based on the fact that they out-hit us, not because we put them on base.
And majority of sports, kind of begin the season kind of soft, like you should say, scheduling wise.
Mm-hmm.
You got Auburn and Oregon. So what are you going to get out of playing, those two prominent programs out of the gate?
Well, first and foremost, like that is where we want to get to, right? Our goal is not just win games and be 500. Like we all want to be national champions, and whether that's a reasonable estimation of what we can do or not, like the season will tell. But if we want to be the best, we have to play the best. And one thing too is early in the year, right, that you kind of almost get exposed. I think every team get exposed a little bit on like, oh wow, we're not holding runners at second base well enough, or oh, we clearly this doesn't work, right? And so you can, especially at the beginning of the year, we get that, we see that, and when we come into conference play, now we're more prepared for that. As you look at like Wright State, who did a wonderful job in the regional and beat Vanderbilt, they also went and played Auburn last year, and they got swept. I don't think they played very well that weekend, but it kind of is taking that formula of play the best, learn what you need to do to be the best, and then continue to get better throughout the season.
Well, with so many young players, I think you have 21 newcomers.
Yes.
Don't you kind of want to build that confidence a little bit before going out there?
We want to build confidence, but confidence is a choice, we believe, right? And so we go out there, and then when we go out in these first 2 weeks, we're not playing Power 5 schools the next 2 weeks. So the schedule kind of goes, it's tough really at the beginning, and then it kind of is more our level of play. Not saying that those other teams aren't good. I'm not trying to say that at all, but we're gonna go out there and learn and compete, and I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Trevor, going back to the pitching room, I noticed you guys added, Jacob Dunn as a graduate assistant. Obviously, he's a guy who is an all-conference pitcher for you guys within the program. how does adding somebody like that who's had that experience that can help some of these guys, get where you guys want to be as a pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean, Jake is he was an incredible pitcher, and it was really unfortunate to see what happened to him at the end of the year with his arm injury. Um, and it was clear as day when he was a player that he was he kind of coached. You know what I mean? So it was an obvious choice to bring him in. He's somebody that 2 years ago when I was the pitching coach, I worked closely with him. And so we have similar philosophies and we work well together. We can bounce ideas off and he's a man, I mean, I know he's like 22, 23 years old, but he's a man and he'll say things to me that if he doesn't agree with me, he'll let me know. And so it's really good. We have a really good team really leading the pitchers, I feel like.
Obviously a bunch of newcomers for you guys, 16 of those were transfers. When you guys are in the portal looking for new guys to fill holes in the roster and fill spots, what do you guys kind of look for?
Well, obviously, like the team needs, based on what we need. I think getting the job so late when I did, I had to hit the portal very heavy instantly just to fill a roster, and so that kind of led into this offseason as well. As we move forward, I think we'll do more in the high school realms. I think that's where we do the best at, and I think we do a very good job of developing. So I think that's where we'll go. But in the portal, we're looking for guys who can throw strikes. We believe that we can develop velocity. And for offensive players, we're looking for guys who can make contact. One thing it's hard to do is swing and miss is really hard to coach, right? So we believe that we can put on bat speed and put on some size and some strength. So if they were just a singles guy, we think that we can get them to slug a little bit more. It's always hard to kind of get a guy who strikes out a bunch to not end up striking out.
With the lineup that you guys have back, obviously some key returning names, obviously, guys like Brady Shannon, guys like, Nathan Beckley, Joe Rona. What are you kind of looking for out of that group of returners as they kind of try to take that next step for you guys?
Yeah, I think a main thing is we need to cut down our strikeout numbers. Obviously, we hit for a lot of power last year. I think if we can cut down the strikeout numbers, that would be a really, really cool thing. Obviously, losing the player of the year and a guy who just got picked up by the Rockies is tough, and you can't necessarily replace that with one guy, but we'll replace that with the style of offense we run now. We'll be more contact based, we'll be more athletic, we'll steal more bases, maybe play a little bit more small ball, right? And so that's how we kind of bridge that gap. And I think these guys have done an amazing job, and it'll be really cool to see. A lot of those guys were the first time at the D1 level, or even you look at Brady Shannon, who didn't even have a fall, and now he had a full summer, had a full fall, and it'll be really interesting to see how a whole year under his belt helps them play.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, looking at the schedule, you have 2 full-on with Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
You're going down there twice. Is that kind of how that works with those bigger schools?
Yeah. So with this year and the way it goes is we've always done a home and home with Pitt, and so their coach there, who's a great guy and who's helped me a lot in my career early on, he kind of is like, hey, let's play 2 here, and we'll help you out a little bit financially too. So we love going down to Pitt. It's a great yard. I think it's one of my favorites in the area. So I think that's really cool, and they get to come to Eastwood, which I think in the end is what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to get bigger names to come out to Eastwood Field.
And how like I know Ohio State came here several years ago. How are you working to maybe get some of those bigger schools to come here?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, kind of the scheduling thing is it's kind of a crazy game back and forth, right? You try to play home and homes because obviously it costs more to go on the road, and so we're looking to always add big names to come here. What's cool is now with those teams from the West Coast that have to come down, or in the ACC or in the Big 12, right? They come down and maybe they play West Virginia and they stay in this area. So as we move forward, we're going to try to get some of those West Coast schools. I know like Arizona State is somebody that we've been in contact with of hopefully getting them, because obviously they need to play midweek and they can't just fly home to Arizona and then fly back, right? So kind of doing stuff like that. We have to be a little bit clever with it. And weather depending now with the advancements at Eastwood Field, I think it's going to be something that's really possible.
Obviously, the Horizon League is a little bit smaller this year with fewer teams, with Purdue Portland not having their program anymore. But what are your kind of expectations just for the conference, and what you guys will look for
I think we need to start off a little bit hotter than we did last year. As you look at our the second half of the conference schedule last year, we won 3 straight series, and so that was really good. We would like to start earlier. I think at the beginning of last year, we lose 2 series right off the bat in games we should have won, and I think that changes a lot. We win those first 2 series. Now we go to Wright State, who we play really competitive games against, but now we have a little bit more confidence. Instead of 2-4, we're 4-2, right? And now all those games we decide that we can win, have that confidence that we can win those games. So I think starting early is a very important thing. You don't want to have your back against the wall in the second half of the conference schedule, and we're really looking for the conference kind of beats up on each other. And we're just looking for a little bit of consistency. Try to win every series. It's not about always sweeping. It's about winning every series.